transfer to the express line. I gotta get off. Electric slide into the double doors of life. Things are changing and it ain't the way I like. On the replay, wish I could get a replay. Don't mean to hold ya, but I wanna do over. Gas up the ship, shoot me a text and let me know when it is time. I wanna get off, I wanna get off. One star, would not recommend that we go far from here. I wanna get off, I wanna get off. Stop the world. A music podcast for the culture. Wild, wild thoughts.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Wild Thoughts. That's right, you have to adjust your TVs. You're not seeing the ghost. That is the real Mars Blackman in the house today. We started a little early because we wanted to get him on because y'all know he's on East Coast time and he has a real adult job, so he has to get up very, very early. So we wanted to start. We're gonna starting a little earlier today so that we can get Mars on because we want to make sure we get his take, check his temperature about what's going on the East Coast and all that good stuff. So, Mars, what's been up, man? Tell us what's been going on.
Nothing much. Just like right now, we're in this mayoral race.
Oh yeah, you out there with what is it, Zami? I don't want to say the name wrong.
No, yeah, Manzani and
Manzani.
whatnot. And it's interesting, like how, like what, 4 or 5 years ago, Andrew Cuomo was the man. Now you're looking at him like, what the fuck? Excuse my language.
You talk about a fall from grace.
It's a big fall from grace. Big fall from grace. So it's going to be very interesting to see how everything goes about. I did early voting. I'll just say that I didn't vote for Cuomo and I didn't vote for the racist Silva who wears the beret that thinks he's doing the vigilante crime watching.
So what do you feel about voting for a Democratic socialist? Because everybody's so afraid of the word socialist, but they
You
forget
want,
about the Democratic part. So tell me
you,
your thoughts on his tell me your thoughts about him being a Democratic socialist and
mhm.
your thoughts on why it's working in New York.
Well, the thing is like, at the end of the day, he's speaking the truth, and it's a lot more or less it's like the same conversations that you and I have been having for quite some time now. Like, what are the topics in which everyday New Yorkers, Americans can relate to?
Mm-hmm.
It's the cost of living,
Mm-hmm.
cost of food, cost of just education, and he's been very smart to stay on topic as far as speaking to those needs and the need for change. um, with Merrill Adams and whatnot, it was very apparent that he was on the take. His priorities were not in the right place. Any time in which you have a mayor that starts branding himself and he wants to be, at the end all be all places, a la, the Met Gala, calling himself the hip hop mayor when nobody dubbed him that. you know, it it leaves a very sour taste in your mouth, and especially when it's a black man, you want to be supportive of black people, and they just like flip the script. Um, speaking with jumping back to Manjani, yeah, I'm gonna butcher his name. No, no disrespect.
Right.
Um, I think out of all the candidates, he was the one that definitely stood out. There was a Jewish person that I was very interested in because, again, he seemed to have presented a plan.
Right.
One of the things in which I'm very concerned about Mamdani is that while he is speaking to everything that everyone wants to hear, a la using the Trump approach, I hope that he is his cabinet members are actually people that can help him to implement the plan that he has in mind. Um, I would hate for the fact that he would, get into office and then it becomes more or less, a lot of biasness because of quote unquote religious reasons. And I have a feeling that that is something that is going to rear its head with this administration as they look to quote unquote impact any of the federal funding to the state of New York. The other thing is with him is that I do have a feeling that he will be very strategic in how he deals with that administration. And one thing that I will say is that he comes across as very articulate and being able to connect the dots so that people can see things for what they are outside of their biasness.
Okay, so I think you made a great point when you said he's sticking to the topics that the people want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking to the voters about things that matter. So he's talking to the voters about, like you said, free transportation, lowering price on food, even
Mm-hmm.
trying to make some government subsidies for some of
Right.
the grocery stores and some of the other things, and just basically literally trying to lower the cost of living in New York, which I know
Mm-hmm.
sounds like a daunting feat because New York has always been expensive, even before the economy got crazy.
Right.
New York was expensive. New York was very expensive in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So seeing that he's talking about those things, I want to ask you, is there a way that a Democrat can take not just his whole formula, because I know it's a little different in New York, it's kind of like California, it's a lot more liberal, but is there a way he could there's somebody that can take what he's doing in New York on a national level as a Democrat to talk to the people and about those specifics? Because I think that's the thing that Democrats are like
Right.
missing on the most is talking about things voters care about. And I don't know if you
Right.
remember, I said this during the last election. I'm like, I feel like the Democrats are spending too much time on the trans stuff. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
vote, voters don't care about that enough to make that a main platform. They were
Right.
spending too much time on things that, like fringe things, right? Like things that weren't gonna blanket middle America, things that weren't gonna blanket the average person, even like the
Mm-hmm.
average black person. There's a lot of stuff they was talking about. I'm like, y'all not talking to us, talking
Right.
to voters about the things that they care about. Like I said, they put a whole lot of focus on trans, they put a whole lot of focus on LGBTQ, they put a whole lot of focus on trying to win Republicans over, they put a whole lot of focus on trying to look Republican.
Right.
I think they need to change that. They need to fix that. And I'm wondering, looking at the way he's running his race, is very effective.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Gavin Newsom, because I know we're supposed to talk about him a little later, but do you think Gavin Newsom can kind of like duplicate that? Because he's kind of like a rebel in a way, in a few
Right.
ways, and kind of like an outlier.
Yeah. The thing is like, hey, what's up, Shannon? The thing about Gavin is that I remember when we were jumping back to Kamala's race. Um, you know, at first I was, again, I was very supportive of Kamala, but at the same time, there was that part of me that was like, I don't necessarily know if she would be able to gather the necessary votes because, to have to have a person of color and the fact that she's a woman, those are very challenging obstacles to get over. Jumping back to Gavin, I think, do I believe that he has an opportunity? Yes. The thing is, what I hope he doesn't do is he doesn't fall into the trap of just being someone that quote unquote is constantly trolling Trump. At some point, he has to be able to present a plan that is going to be able to speak to all Americans. I think at the same time, he's going to have to be able to present something in which is showing a unified front. Like this whole bipartisan shit has gotten way out of hand, and at this point, it's like when you think of the GOP, the reality of the situation is like hearing the language and now what some of the core beliefs are. It's like it's blatant racism. At the same time, you know you know what is going on with the Latin community with all the ICE deportations. Like he has to be able to speak to that, to corral that demographics to also buy into what it is that he's speaking. I think he has a chance, but outside of the trolling aspect, like he has to be able to present a plan that is going to speak to all Americans. The second thing is I hope he does. We're in the changing of the guards, and one of the things in which you and I have constantly been saying is that the old guard, that old way of thinking,
Yeah, man.
has to be pushed out the door. It's a lot of
Yeah, the
young
Chuck
up.
Schumers,
Yeah,
even the Hakeem Jeffries, because he
yeah,
cracked. He's whack to me. Like
he is.
Schumer, Jeffries, Nancy Pelosi. I feel like all them they gotta go.
Yeah.
Even y'all girl Auntie Maxine. It's
Hmm.
time for all those establishment Democrats to go. We need to truly get to somebody who's really progressive.
Hmm.
And one thing I will say, looking at Gavin Newsom's interviews that he's done, he's did All the Smoke. He's done. What was the other one he did?
I know he was doing the
Oh, the Van Lathan. He did one with Van Lathan, which was really good because Van Lathan kind of held him to task.
hmm.
Um,
Let me
I
check it
think
out.
I think he's probably going to be the most progressive voice. Might even
Hmm.
be too progressive for a national race, but he's probably the most progressive voice I've heard coming
Hmm.
from the Democratic Party with a plan. Like, because I think AOC and Jasmine Crockett might actually be the most progressive,
Hmm.
but from a standpoint of actually having a real progressive plan, from what
Right.
I heard, his plan is a little better than AOC's. I haven't really heard like what Jasmine Crockett plan would be because I know she's more of like a junior, so that's
Hmm.
not like what she's on right now. But
Right.
I think Harvey from TMZ is saying out with their asses, and I agree. We need a total overhaul. Yeah, they gotta go because what I learned is the establishment Democrats aren't really progressive at all.
Mm-mm.
They like they want progress but incrementally, especially like Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi damn near Republican.
Hmm.
Like she's so moderate. Like somebody had made an analogy. They were like if we the Democrats and the Republicans are on the football field, if we at the 50-yard line, most of the Republicans are at the 40, most of the Democrats are at the 40.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we need them to go try to get close to the touchdown and just being at the 40. Just they try so hard to play that same game and try to make incremental change. I'm like, this incremental change is not enough. It's not going to work. It's not happening fast enough. And y'all have the tools to not have to utilize incremental change at this point.
Right.
So now I know these trash ass um, Democrats who've been there forever, those establishment guys, it's really time for them to go and it's time for new voices. But that also
Mm.
goes to like voting, man. We got to vote their asses out, man, and vote some new folks in. But the crazy thing is because we know how elections work, they have so much bread, they have so much of the treasure
Right.
chest behind them, especially when it comes to the DNC. They make sure they put the bread behind Nancy
Right.
Pelosi. They make sure they put the bread behind Hakeem Jeffries. Like there's other candidates that will be better, but they won't put the money behind them. Like
Mm-mm.
you see, even like Kamala raised all that money, but they couldn't not put the money behind it. But at first they was trying to do that same thing. They was trying to
Hmm.
not put that bread behind her until she raised all that money on her own.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. And even when you look back at the how Kamala was doing the race, like in the very beginning, it was like a breath of fresh air.
mm-hmm.
But then certain along the lines, it was like it switched where suddenly it was like I'm too good to go do that, go there, or I'm too good to talk about X, Y, and Z.
No, that's not what happened. I'm gonna tell you what happened.
Oh, educate me.
I'm gonna tell you what happened with Kamala.
Hmm.
Kamala was on the road to win until she would not break from Joe Biden on things that fundamentally she needed to break away from to actually win.
Right.
She
Okay.
should have broke with him on Gaza, Palestine.
Hmm.
She should have broke away with him on the economy and said, "Yo, the economy looks good for stockbrokers, but it's not good at home. We need to make it better." They didn't want her to throw Joe Biden under the bus. I'm like, Joe Biden is not running again. So why
Right.
are y'all still trying to save this man legacy? She should have broke with him on certain things because what happened was she then went from being a breath of fresh air, like you said when she first came on, to being indistinguishable from Joe Biden.
Hmm.
So everybody just felt like, oh, this is just about to be more Joe Biden. And I think Republicans and Democrats felt that way after she wouldn't break away with him on those big things. So I feel like if she would have broke with him on the economy and said,
Hmm.
"This is what we're gonna do for the economy," and had her own plan for the economy, if she would have broke away with him on Gaza and said, "Yo, they having war crimes in Gaza and Palestine, we not," and she's sticking so hard to, and it's funny because she even said in her book, like, they wouldn't let me break away, basically wouldn't let me do my own thing. I said that. I said that during the race on this show. I said they not letting her run her race because when they was letting her run her race, she was kicking ass. Then when
Hmm.
the establishment put her in, was like, you can't break with Biden on this, you can't break with Biden on that, and she
Hmm.
didn't. it made her look like Biden 2.0, and she started dropping
in the polls,
quickly.
right?
She
Right.
started dropping quickly because she had the like. If you look at her policy, she had the right policy,
Yeah.
and well, actually, Arlene, she did address immigration. She did address immigration. She just actually did a whole commercial talking about how she was tough on immigration, talking about the bill she wanted to pass for immigration. She did. Newsom needs to show better leadership in California in
Oh
order to
yeah.
be a candidate for president.
We'll talk on that on Shannon's point. I want you to finish your point.
Okay. Uh, Nate, what up, Nate? He said, and she should have broken away on the LBG. I agree. I agree, Nate. I said, I don't know if he was on when I said it, but I said, I feel like one of the big reasons that not only did Kamala lose, but the Democrats started losing a whole bunch of seats and stuff was because
Mhm.
they put so much focus into the LGBTQ stuff and not should not have been the main focus for the
Right.
Democratic Party when it came to getting voters across the country on a national level. And that's not to say that I got anything against LGBT. It ain't that. I'm talking about strategy. I'm talking about strategy when you're trying to win a race and you're trying to bring everybody. Because the thing about the Democrats have a very big tent. You know what I'm saying? So since the very big tent, it sounded like they went so hard for one piece of the tent and they lost the rest. Right?
Mhm.
That's what it felt like. She was part of the immigration problem. She wanted to give amnesty to everyone here, but that's not actually true, Nate.
Mm-mm.
And she wasn't part of the immigration problem. And if you look, my guy, go check it. There was an immigration bill that was on the table that would have shut down, not only shut down the borders, but was gonna do it was like a very intensive bill. I
I
forgot
know
who
what you're
wrote
talking
it. It was a
about.
Republican who wrote the bill. It was a great immigration bill, and it was had bipartisan support, and they were going to pass it because not only was it going to shut down the border, it was going to go into technology. Like they were going to
Yep.
put big x-rays there to catch the fentanyl coming in. They were going to add, like, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, Mark, like 50,000 to 100,000 more border patrol officers.
Mhm.
And your boy Donald Trump said, don't do it because he needs to run on immigration. So when the Republicans were going to vote on that great bill, he stopped it and he squashed that bill because he
Mhm.
wanted the Democrats to look bad and say they were weak on immigration, even though they were all trying to vote on this amazing immigration bill that was written by a Republican.
Mhm.
So y'all need, I just want to make sure y'all get the real information. Like they had a great bill on deck.
Yeah, I
The
remember
problem is
that.
she didn't want to get rid of people here. That's not true. If you go back, her and Joe Biden's immigration numbers were on par with Trump's uh first administration, with Trump's first run. And the funny thing is, the only person who did more than Trump,
Was Obama.
it was Obama. Trump and Biden was Obama. He did more for immigration. So a lot of times they give you talking points, Nate, but a lot of that shit not true and it's not real. So you have to go look on both sides because
Mhm.
I please believe the Biden administration was deporting people. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the numbers were 12.5 million points of contact, and I think they sent back 8 million.
Mhm.
Got sent back to Vegas. I mean Vegas to Mexico,
Right.
or back across the border. So again, but this goes to messaging, right? Because you see how good the Republican messaging is, that people take what they say. Like the Republicans will like legit lie in your face, but they message it so good, people take it, run with it, and be like, "Yo, this is the gospel." Democrats will have the right policy, but don't get their messaging out there the right way because
Nope.
people still believe that Kamala locked up black people. People still believe that Kamala was not tough, was trying to keep all the immigrants here. People still believe, that Kamala didn't care about nothing but the LGBTQ stuff. But I think that all goes to like terrible, terrible messaging on the
Mhm.
part of the Democrats. And I've been screaming that for maybe 10,
Even
10
yeah.
million years. I mean, I've been screaming that since uncouth radio. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? That they messaging is trash. Uh
And
what
and
up,
the
neighborhood therapist?
and the funny
Uh,
thing about it is that we've been talking about all that stuff, and the two people that jumped up as far as trying to help support the DNC were not visible. A. Stacey Abrams, and then the other guy from South Carolina.
Yeah.
You haven't heard anything from either of them.
Yep. Exactly. So, um, yeah. So, go ahead. Give me a minute. I gotta step out for a quick second, but I want you
Mm.
to go back to Shannon's point and talk about that. Let me put that.
Oh,
Uh,
Gavin Newsom.
yeah. Let me put that up, and I'm gonna put you on solo real quick, and go
Okay.
ahead and talk to the people.
Okay. Now, again, I'm on I'm on the East Coast, but the one thing about Newsom, in which I think is very detrimental, that he addressed, and again, this is from me looking on the outside in, is the homeless situation. I know the last couple of times of which I visit California, that caravan of homeless people all around the 110, was it the 110 or the 101 freeway where you're jumping off of Hollywood going into Hollywood Boulevard? I don't know if that has been addressed, but I know for a fact when I was out there, it threw me off because, again, I used to live in Studio City, and just seeing all that stuff along the highway and whatnot threw me off. I think that's something that he definitely has to address. And at the same time, as he's getting ready to pursue the presidency, he has to have some type of action in place for that, because I wouldn't be surprised if the GOP attack him on that on that one topic as far as impact of California, impact of the unemployment situation. So I do think it's important that he gets a handle on that. Again, jumping onto the other thing, also having some type of economic plan that will speak to not just me, but everyone across the US. And, and I think he'll have a shot. I just don't want him to be turned into someone that is just known for trolling Trump, and that is his calling card. At some point, there has to be progression where it's like, I had fun ribbing him, but there's some drastic changes that needs to be made. This is the plan that I have. At the same time, I would like him to also align himself with some of the younger Democrats, progressive
Okay.
Democrats, because of,
Come
hey,
on.
because of everything that has transpired within this administration. I think it's going to be a very heavy lift to try and reverse some of the damages in which we're experiencing. So that's my 2 cents, and I think that's valid. I know Dane wants me to keep talking. I don't know where he is. I wonder if I can see what folks are saying. Wish I could bring somebody up. Uh, Newsom is. Oh, I can see. Yeah, Shannon. I've heard about it being like that in the Bay Area. But I know that like a friend of mine is an activist, and I know she's been getting involved in a lot of things that are going on. I haven't had a com- a chance to connect with her in the past couple of weeks to see exactly what it is that they've been doing, but I know she's been heavily involved with all the stuff and the threats that they were making towards bringing the guards to Oakland. Nate, it's like the thing is, we're only in the first year of Trump. As far as who the viable candidates are, it's like you'll start to see those probably around the primaries. Like this is year one, and he's the one that is jumping up to the microphone. Like you jump back a few years ago, and like Obama didn't start to make himself, viable until like what, the third year, and that's when he was going off of building that momentum. Hey, Steph, there are many things that he needs to address. If he would run for candidacy, him ripping on it's not going to be enough. Right. And that's why I said him ripping on Donald Trump at some point, it gets old, and he has to at least present a plan.
Agree 100%. All right, we got hella comments now. They must like what you was saying. Uh Nate said the difference is most of Obama's immigration stops were at the border. The Biden administration allowed them into the interior of the country. And that is why things are so crazy now. I don't disagree with that, Nate. Terrell Gardner, what up, Terrell? I got to start adding you too when I start tagging people because you always here. We all know what the Republican Party's about. Newsom is horrible. Uh, Okay, so tell me why you think Newsom is horrible, Nate, because we have one of the best economies in the country right now. We actually send more
Oh,
money to the international treasury than any other state. We have enough money to literally be our own country.
yeah.
So tell me why you think he's horrible.
Oh, and to add to that, to what you're saying, Dame, the fact that Newsom is doing that Cal RX as far as the insulin,
Yeah,
brilliant,
yeah, yeah. Like
brilliant.
yeah. Like I want to know why you think he's terrible. Been saying the same thing. People didn't vote or voted Trump because of the Dems pushing so hard for the LGBTQ and the rest of those letters. No offense, I'm just not keeping up. No, that's true. Shannon said it's like that in the Bay Area too. Nate said Newsom is incompetent. Tell me why you think he's incompetent. I want to know. If he is what the Democratic Party has to offer, they will lose the next two elections. I don't know. I don't know about that.
Well,
Hey, Mars, I
uh,
definitely agree that there are many things that he needs to address and talking points on his policy if he were to run for candidacy. Him ripping on Donald Trump is not going to be enough. I think that was enough. I think he's doing that to get the national attention.
mhm.
I don't know about that. I actually like Gavin and a lot of people who also like Gavin from different communities. After what he has done in California, what has he done in California? Because that's what the Republicans say all the time. He's done this and that. What has he done in California? They keep pushing the alphabet community agenda 24/7, and that turns minorities off. It's a double-edged sword. I agree. Earlene, what up, cousin? I would like to see Gavin be more focused when messaging to the people and not all over the place and let Trump keep trumping. I don't disagree with that. If Newsom can properly pull California out of the dredge as one of the biggest economy in the world, it would show potential leadership in America. That's what I'm saying, Shannon. I'm like, so he got the biggest economy in the world. Um, he's got a lot of businesses. I don't know what that is, Nate. He got a lot of businesses here in California. The businesses that pull out are people who don't want to pay taxes, so their asses can go. They don't want to
Mhm.
pay taxes, don't want to pay a living wage. So, you know, yeah, he should tax billionaires. He should tax Amazon. He should tax
Yeah.
Elon Musk. And if they want to leave, take their business elsewhere, then I'm okay with that. If he don't want to pay a living wage,
You want to know
uh,
something? You want to know something? I think one of the more important things for Gavin Newsom, outside of the living wage, he has to address this AI situation because the way that Trump's administration is just letting the AI development just run reckless, that's going to eat away at jobs. He has to be able to have some type
I agree.
of control on that.
I agree. Let me see. California and other blue states are literally keeping a lot of the red states afloat. It's very true,
Mhm.
Terrell. Uh, thanks, cousin. Yeah, like I think people try to like so the issue that Gavin has is the homelessness in California, but that's not
Mhm.
Gavin's problem. Like homelessness was terrible since I was a kid, first of all. Like we've always had a skid row. Homelessness has been way out of control since they closed up all of the psych wards out here in California. And that was a Reagan era
Mhm.
and Bush era thing actually, where they shut up a lot of the mental health hospitals out here. They shut them and just put people on street. Homelessness has been terrible since then. And it hasn't been addressed. So to lay that on Gavin as if Gavin is the problem for homelessness, I disagree
Mhm.
on that. Um, but there is a homelessness issue that he needs to address. I don't like some of the stuff that he did with the trying to have trans kids be able to do transitional stuff without their parents' permission. Like all that stuff, I think was a bridge too far. But I also think he's figuring that out. He's figured that out because
Mhm.
his tune has kind of changed on. I haven't heard him going so hard for that lately, especially in these last few interviews. I think he's changed course on that. Let's see, Stephanie with the great comment. Dame, I have no issue with Gavin. I said what I said because I have seen many people who don't care for him, but also don't care for duty.
Dude.
And I just think that him ripping on him is not going to be enough to win those particular voters over, especially after trying to recall him not that long ago. But I definitely don't have an issue with him personally. White what is Newsom policy on creating a middle class? That's actually a great question, Shannon. So if you get a chance, because I don't want to misquote him or nothing, watch his interview with Van Lathan or watch his interview with All the Smoke. Very good interviews where he actually talks about, yeah.
Wait, he was on All the Smoke?
Yes, he just did All the Smoke a couple days ago.
Oh, okay.
And
Right.
and so go watch those, and he lays out his policy very distinctly, very well. Even talks about the bills that he's been trying to pass for reparations in California. Like, he talks about all that. So go check it out, and you'll see what his plan is on creating a middle class, or trying to make the middle class thrive. Reaganomics, yes, early, and that's what happened when they put all them people out. Why does blue state California have to foot the bill for red states? Personally, California should cut them off. I see Gavin had threatened it. You know what I'm saying? California has the biggest economy, but the highest taxes and spending. His fix for everything is add another tax. That's not true. Again, like I said, watch his interview with All the Smoke and watch the interview with Van Lathan, and you can see some of his fixes, and it's not all about taxing. But I don't know why y'all be so mad when they try to tax the rich, because his taxes don't. The taxes he tries to bring ain't about taxing us. The taxes he's trying to bring are taxing the rich. Why y'all be pissed? Why do middle class people get pissed? Because I don't understand it's about Trump supporters at all either. Why do middle class and Trump supporters get pissed when people try to tax the rich? Like, these people have so much money. When I talk about taxing billions, and I don't know if y'all understand how much money billions is. Billions is literally they can spend $1 million a day until they die, and they still won't be nowhere near broke. That's what we're talking about when we talk about billions. Like, y'all need to understand the magnitude of somebody having like 20 and 30 and 40 billions, and y'all be caping for them getting taxed. Tax their ass. But homelessness was also compounded by price gouging landlords. Absolutely. Absolutely. Also, California doesn't penalize being homeless like some states. Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's Keela. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, they don't criminalize homelessness, but that's why you probably have so much of it. His tune has changed. Be all lies to get votes. Nigga, what about your boy Trump? Nigga, Trump literally lied about everything and ain't doing none of it. So I think that's a bad faith comment to make when you a Trump supporter.
Yeah,
That's
Nathan,
a bad faith comment to make about. Don't say nothing about nobody lying when you a Trump supporter, bro. No. The
Nathan out
homeless
here,
issue is, huh?
Nathan out here waiting for his next Trump check.
Yeah, the homeless issue is from other states. If you pay attention, most homeless people are from other states. Not saying none are from Cali, but most are from other states. We got year-round good weather, and our state has more of the homeless. Oh, that I never thought about that too, Willie. Like, the weather makes it basically more bearable to be homeless here.
Mm.
If he can't manage a state, why would I trust him on the country? He's managed the state well. You still haven't told me what he's done to not manage. Like, you just keep saying, talking shit about him. But Nathan, give me some specifics on what he has, what he's done to break
Nate,
California.
Nate,
That's all I need.
Nate, I would advise that you read what his solution is for the insulin and making it more or less homegrown in California.
She
And
said
if you read that and it doesn't appeal to you or say at least that's a brilliant idea, then I don't know what will convince you.
she said these people don't be know what they're going. They just be talking. My California taxes don't match the Fed taxes. Check your paycheck. Yeah, like he not taxing us. He's trying to tax the rich. He's trying to tax those corporations that making money hand over fist and don't want to pay a living wage. I agree, Willie. Other states have put homeless people on buses and planes and trains to get to California. She said another thing, they moved to California due to warm climate to survive those harsh winters on the street. Ooh, y'all popping tonight in the comments. I love it. I thought that was you, Keela. I don't understand how people making 40,000 a year loves billionaires. I really don't understand it either, Terrell. All right, so Nate said California's a mess. Property taxes have tripled. No, they haven't. Not mine.
I mean, if he has such a big discretion about California, just move.
We
Go
have the
to
highest income tax and the highest fuel tax. Okay, so we have the highest income. That's not, those two things aren't even Gavin Newsom though. The income tax and the fuel tax, we always had a higher fuel tax than other states. I can go back to 1995 when we drove cross country, and our gas was higher than all the gas all across the country, because that's all we talked about going all the way to Florida. It was like how gas was cheaper in every state except California. So it's a lot of stuff you're trying to put on Gavin that's not on Gavin. We've always had a higher income tax. We've always had a higher fuel tax in California. That's not nothing new, bro. That's not Gavin's doing. Give me something else. Willie said, Terrell, that part right there, and not mine. Yeah, like I don't know what you talking about property. This is what I'm saying. Like y'all, you can't take anecdotal stuff, Nate, and say that that's like what the whole state is doing, because my property tax have not tripled, like not even close. Not the property tax over here had not tripled at all. If anything, it probably went up like $200 or $300. He says, "Yeah, I can move. Thanks for." I mean, you could. I didn't say move, but I'm saying if you're going to say that he's done all these things to destroy California, I need you to give me some specifics. That's all. I don't mind debating. If you want to tell me that he's terrible, please give me some factual stuff. But the problem is, Nate, you just doing a lot of those Fox talking points where they say stuff that is not true, and then y'all run with it. And there's literal research, numbers, places you can look and go to see what's true and what's not. And as you know, you my brother, Nate, and I just want you to start to open your mind a little more, because a lot of things you say, a lot of things you post are like not factual. So look, be on your side, rock with your side, because I'm independent. So I'm not a Democrat. I ain't trying to tell you to be Democrat. Like I just said on this damn show, to me, the Dems have been trashed through this whole thing. But also, if you're gonna be on that side, I always say try to be on that side factually. Give me some facts. Give me policy. If you feel like Gavin Newsom is trash, tell me what some of his policy that you don't like is. You know what I mean? Because when you say, oh well, the income tax is high, our income tax has always been high. If you say our gas tax is high, our gas tax has always been high. You know what I'm saying? So me being an independent, I'm not playing for the red or the blue. Me independent, I can call it how I see it. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times I feel like you're not calling it how you see it, my guy, because you be posting stuff that I'm like, well, that's not actually true. You know what I mean? Or and a lot of the stuff you post and say, it be those like Fox talking points of like falsehoods. He said Mars said Lee. I'm an independent too. Independence of the world unite. Okay, well, Nate, if you're independent, man, I need you to get on board and get factual with your stuff. Like, get factual with your things, man. Cause like I said, I don't mind debating people who disagree with me, or like you said, if you feel like Gavin Newsom is trash, I'm fine. But I want to debate facts, not feelings. Like, I feel like the stuff that you're debating is stuff that you feel like you don't like, but not like factual stuff. I think we need more transparency or oversight on the monies that are being collected, i.e., toll, lottery, and how they be. I don't disagree with that, Shannon. I mean, I think we need oversight on all the bread, because especially like you said, if we have one of the biggest and best economies in the world, I want to know where that money is going to. Oh, that's a good question. Keela said, Nathaniel, who do you want to see run? He's been in office long enough to fix something. That's why that way he handled COVID was trash also. Well, besides him having a party during COVID, because I know he had a party during COVID when we were supposed to be what's that word we was using? What they were saying?
Quarantine.
Yeah, when we were supposed to be quarantining. That's the only thing I seen. But California, we was one of the few places where our economy stayed strong through COVID. Mm-hmm. We was one of the few places where people could get vaccinated and you could test to keep your job. We one of the few places that kind of stayed afloat, Nate. So, but again, tell me what you think he did in COVID that was trash. Like I said, I think it was trash that he was throwing parties when we were supposed to be quarantining. I think that's absolute trash. You know what I'm saying? Nigga throwing wine parties. I think that's trash. But as far as what he did with the state, let me know what you didn't like about what he did with the state. One thing about independence, we have receipts, and we know. Well, yeah, because like I said, we don't play for a team, Keela. So for me, since I don't play for a team, I can look back at both of them subjectively and just look at policy and facts. I don't care about the people. It's not about the people. You know what I mean? It's about the policy. And I think that's one of the things that Democrats and Republicans have a bad problem with, is they get so enthralled with the people. You know what I'm saying? Like, he gets so enthralled with the people that you're not looking at their policy. You get so enthralled with a lot of Democrats and Republicans get so enthralled with people's personalities that they're not looking at the policy. They like, I like him. Yeah, you like him, but what are his policies saying? What are his policies doing? Erlene said, I want to see how the state is going to respond to or address the nursing shortage. Next year, hospitals are going to be accredited based upon safe staffing ratios. I hope that makes sense. Well, Erlene, so that is going to be interesting because it depends on what happens with this big, beautiful bill. And if before the shutdown, you get those subsidies to stay with the ACA. Because if you don't get those subsidies with the ACA, we're going to lose even more nurses and even more hospitals in those rural parts of California, like Sacramento, or even more rural hospitals are going to close down. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So keep an eye on that, what goes on with the shutdown and the bill, and if they keep those subsidies going for the ACA, Earlene. He told
So
renters they didn't have to pay rent. Okay, so now if you're somebody who, well, they told rent, but didn't they pay a lot of people rent at that time?
wait, Nate,
Weren't
did
they?
you have to? Did that personally impact you? Like you were hoping not to pay rent and you had to pay
But I'm
rent?
saying I think they paid a lot of people's rent. And if they told renters they didn't have to pay rent, even though I don't, as somebody who is a renter, I don't agree with that. I also understand that, if people are not working full time, you don't want, like, cause so this is what would happen, Nate. If you try to make people pay rent through COVID who weren't working full time or weren't able to go to work because of quarantine or whatever, who were like, you talking about a whole housing collapse in California if you start
Man,
trying to kick everybody out. Like it's consequences to everything,
man.
and like I said, I don't 100% agree with that, but I think if I'm not mistaken, the state paid a lot of people's rent during that time. Willie said I worked through COVID. They couldn't work. Come on, bro. I did too. Never did he go to banks and mortgage companies and tell them not to collect mortgages and not to ding owners credit for lease or payments. Okay, well, if that's what happened, bro, uh, I okay, if that's what he did, I understand it, but I also understand why you're upset. You lost bread personally. Okay, I get that. I understand, but I also understand it was a pandemic and it was something that we weren't prepared for, never had to deal with ever before. And I think sometimes we forget that it was like an unprecedented time.
Wait,
Um,
wait a minute, wait. A minute. No, the previous administration, Obama, was preparing for a
that's
pandemic,
true. Yeah,
but the motherfucker that came in
that's
was
right. I
like,
forgot.
no.
Yep, Trump ended all the pandemic era. He sure did. I forgot. Trump fired everybody, said we don't need that pandemic bullshit right
And
before the pandemic happened.
and
You
then
right.
what did he do now? He came in and said, "Hey, I'm gonna have RFK Jr. In fact, you know something? All the
Yeah.
disease control. Nah, we don't need that. Slash that.
Okay,
I
so
didn't learn from the last time, so we just gonna repeat the shit.
yeah, you right. I forgot about that. I forgot he came in and fired all those people from the CDC that were in charge of pandemics. So blame some of that on your boy, Nate. Uh Shannon, she said, yeah, squatters do have too many rights. I agree, they have too many rights. I don't listen, you ain't gonna get no fight from me on that. But like I
Mhm.
said, I feel like some of the things were literally they were trying to figure things out on the fly. A lot of people weren't able to work during the pandemic. And if you were to put everybody out who couldn't pay their rent during the pandemic, you're talking about
A homeless
a housing
situation.
collapse. Willie said, no, my mortgage company offered a deferment and I didn't use it because I was working. Yeah, mine did too, Willie. I agree. Trump effed that up. Yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So a lot of the stuff that we had to deal with was because Trump literally jacked up how we were supposed to deal with a pandemic because he fired all the people who would have had us set up to run things the right way. So they were scrambling. Getting people out of your property is arduous and financially draining. I agree, Shannon. Listen, I ain't finna fight you on squatters, but I'm talking about specifically about the people who couldn't pay rent during COVID. And like Willie said, a lot of mortgage companies were doing deferments and paying rents. I know there were a lot of programs because like one of my renters, like at the time, like we gave them a program to where they rent would get paid by the government. He didn't tell renters that they didn't have to pay rent. What he said was to the landlords and property owners was that they could not evict people if they could not pay. Then to back it up, they offered rental payment options. Yeah, that's what I know happened, Steph. Still does not excuse Newsom's lack of leadership. Okay, so Nate, tell me, what are you qualifying for his lack of leadership? Are you talking about the party still, or are you talking about something else specific that he did? Because I actually think he led us through the pandemic pretty damn good, personally. That's
Why,
not just my personal opinion. I think he did a really damn good job with California, keep California afloat through the
Nate?
pandemic.
Nate, you don't like his hairstyle, right? That's what it is. You don't like the hairstyle. You don't like the gel, the Pat Riley look. You can be
But a lot
honest.
of people were collecting huge amounts of unemployment. Yeah, they had unemployment, Shannon. They had what was that everybody got? The checks, the
The
two
stimulus
thousand,
checks.
the
Nobody,
stimulus, the
nobody.
stimmies.
You couldn't. You couldn't be around people. They were quarantine people. You didn't. They did not know how to deal with the pandemic at that time. We did not have like the COVID virus. I mean the vaccine shots.
Shamika said, yes, squatters do have too many rights. I had to pay 25K to one in order to sell my grandmother's house in Cali. I'm still mad at that. Hell yeah, that's trash.
Oh, for real?
I
Damn.
don't like a lot of people's hairstyle. You jealous of that flowing hair, head of hair that he got over there, Nate? That's why you know Nate is like, I just don't like the guy. Don't like his face. Something about his face. So I'm like,
Yeah,
Nate, what did he do? I just
yeah.
don't like the guy.
The, does, I will say this. Doesn't
I'm trying to help
get
Nate out here. Look, I'm trying to help
no,
him out here. Like, bro, tell me what he did. Tell me what
no,
you don't
no.
like.
I'll tell you what happened. Nate basically went to some type of function or whatnot. He met Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom did a Bob Barker on whatever female that he was in. He was just sitting there looking at him like, I don't like you.
Yeah, yeah, like it's like personal, Nate. Like I just don't like the guy. But yeah, man. But like I said, I think if Gavin Newsom can switch up his messaging for a national audience, I think he
Mm.
would have a chance to win. But
At the same time, Dave, it's like we're in year one. There's no telling what will happen within the next 2, 3 years. Like, the candidate, it's still time for that candidate to be the nominee for the Democratic Party. We're just talking about someone that has more or less stepped up to the mic and is taking advantage of the vacuum of a voice.
yeah, he said he is him. That's enough for me. That's funny. Uh, Shannon said, "Hey, Mars Newsom is turning into Pat Riley."
Pat Riley got
That's
you some
funny.
rings.
That's funny. He is.
Pat got you some rings.
Hold on. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not saying that by any means, uh, Newsom is perfect, but I think if his messaging is right, and this is the biggest thing that he got going for him, man. And I say this all the time. And Mars, I said this. Like I said, this is why Donald Trump was probably gonna win too. Kamala could have won too, if
Hmm.
not for America like stars. Gavin
Hmm.
Newsom is a star. He's got
Yeah.
charisma. We have not elected a president who didn't have charisma. We like, cause whatever you say about, you know, Trump starting to lose his charisma.
Starting.
Yeah, he's starting to lose it, but Trump was very charismatic as well. You know what I mean? Gavin is charismatic. Like he's like Ronald Reagan charismatic.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
He can talk the drawers off.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, speaking. Wait, what? Willie said. JD Vance.
Oh yeah, let
Did
me see what he said. He said, I think anybody can beat JD Vance about now. The farmers hate his ass because I heard Trump admitted that he can't run again. Yeah. Yeah, the
no, no, no.
farmers.
I don't think the thing is there's too many back and forth with this Trump. Like, oh, I'm not gonna run, but pushing this third term thing. I think his intention is to run. But what's gonna be very interesting is now that you have JD Vance, Ron DeSanto, that have aligned themselves with Charlie Kirk's foundation.
Yeah. Uh
Something's gonna happen where there's gonna be a break between those three, and it's gonna be ugly.
yeah. Nathaniel said, has he found 100 million in fire relief monies? I'm not sure, Nate. I want to speak on that because I don't, I don't know for sure what happened with the fire relief money. Some of us tired of electing old white men. Well, y'all had a chance to elect the black woman, and we didn't.
Mhm.
He could talk the draws off of you, not me. Well, you can say what you want, not about talking the draw. Like I said, you ain't gave me none specific that he did. Well, you said you didn't like what he did with the rent. So I understand that. But like I said, for me, the economy has been good in California when and I feel like for the most part, outside of the homelessness, like crime is down in California. Uh, our bread is up in California. Jobs were up in California. I don't know, bro. Like I don't. There's nothing really for me to complain about in regards to
Mhm.
Gavin Newsom in the state of California. Like I said, the only things I didn't like were him throwing that party during COVID, him saying that he wanted to pass that law where kids could transition without talking to their parents. I did not agree with that. And like I said, if he tries to take that to the national stage, he's gonna lose anyway.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? If he tries to take this, he's gonna lose anyway. But as far as the other things, like I said, watch the Up in Smoke, watch the All the Smoke and Van Lathan, because Van Lathan, Van Lathan really holding his feet to the fire on some things too. So it was a really good interview because Van Lathan ain't going softball shit.
Mhm.
This has nothing to do with Gavin, but I honestly believe that either side is not in a rush to open back up the government because all of them are still getting paid. Their income has not been affected. The shutdown really has nothing to do with the American people for either side. This is more of both parties being spiteful towards each other. I agree with
I think
most of that, but I
right.
think this for the Democrats, this is literally the only leverage they have, Steph,
Mhm.
because they don't have the Senate, they don't have Congress, they don't have the numbers. This is the only leverage they have to stop the ACA from being gutted and stop your premiums from tripling next year.
Right.
If this bill goes through the way the Republicans want it now, Steph, the premiums are going to double and triple for poor families, not even the rich, because what they're doing is they're taking money from the ACA SNAP benefits to compensate for the money that they're
And
giving for the big
the
billionaires
tax
and their
breaks.
tax cuts, the tax cuts to the billionaires. So what the Democrats are doing, they're saying, look, we just want this one concession.
Mhm.
Don't gut the ACA and don't gut SNAP. That's all we're asking. You can have the
And,
rest of your bill.
and Stephanie, just to piggyback what Dame's saying, how would you feel if you knew a year from now that your medical expenses you're paying an additional $25,000, and it was all because the Democrats caved?
Exactly.
Like
Nate,
which
Nate said, has he accounted for the money that was to build the rail system from northern to south? Well, I don't know if he accounted for, but I know that's being built. It's like currently being built right now. So we need insurance regulation in California. Some of these companies are committing extortion. I don't disagree with that, Shannon. I agree
that
100%.
no that's actually something on which I hope Gavin can address, because that insurance shit across the U.S. is out of hand, and the simple fact that they're looking to get rid of FEMA.
Well,
It,
dude, there's a lot of companies that won't, like, after the fires.
mhm.
They like, we can't even give out new insurance. We're leaving California.
Are you serious?
Yeah, yes. A lot of them were like, we either going bankrupt or we just leaving California and we no longer insuring in California. Period. And that's crazy because that means people who have been, you think about it. Let's take car insurance for example. Think about
Mhm.
the amount of people who pay for car insurance every month that never have an accident.
Right.
Think about the
Oh,
people who pay home insurance every month that never need to draw from that home insurance.
it's that peace of mind.
But I'm saying that means there's a surplus of money because
Hmm.
the ratio of money you're paying out versus the ratio of money that you're taking in is insane. Especially because you know you have to have home insurance in this
Right.
state. You have to have car insurance in this state. So you're literally talking about people who are never going to draw from that insurance who are paying into it every single month. We talking millions and millions and billions of dollars, right? And they just like, oh, we have to pay a few people for these fires. We out. That's trash to me.
Hmm.
What about the DME giving driver license to non-citizens? Truckers causing fatal accidents. Some states are suing California. I'm not with that, Earlene. I'm not with that either.
Wait a minute. They've been wait out there. They're giving like
Yeah, you can
nonsense.
get a driver license. Non-citizens can get licenses out here. So I'm not with that. I don't agree with that. Trump has killed the funding to the rail system. Oh, I didn't know that, Willie. I thought they were still building it.
Oh yeah, he basically pulled out all the federal money for the stuff in which they were building over here. It's like this big rail system connecting underground rail system that's connecting New Jersey to Manhattan. Killed that shit. People are up in arms about that.
Yeah. Same like you said, Willie. That's why I'm independent. Some Democratic policies I don't agree with. And that's what I'm saying. Like the thing is, if there's policies I don't agree with, I don't mind saying it because I ain't playing for no team. So you're not gonna give me like I don't agree with every single thing that the Democrats do. I don't agree with every single thing the Republicans do. Like I just don't. So I don't, you know, I don't look at it that way. It's not my team against yours because I ain't on either team. They are leaving California because they can't trust us to have waters to put out the fire. No, they leaving California because they made a ton of money and didn't want to pay out. Come on, bro. Like the amount of fires that they had, it should have been easy to pay out the insurance on those. He had to because there are billions of dollars unaccounted for. See, you making excuses for your boy, but all right. That should be a tax write-off if we don't use our homeowners car insurance. I agree, Shamika, for real. He pulled out because billions are unaccounted for. Can you show me? Can you find an article and send that to me, Nate, please? Because I wanna read up on that. Then, if that's what happened, if Trump pulled all the funding for the rails, send it to me. So I want to know if that's why. Because I like I said, as far as I know, California, we still building ours. Because I know we building one from California to Vegas.
Sacramento.
Yeah, we doing Sacramento. We doing LA to Sacramento, LA to Vegas. They already running the one LA to Hollywood, and there was supposed to be one more longer one. But yeah, like please send me the information. If there's money in California, that's why it stopped. But like I said, as far as I know, the one from LA to Vegas is still being built. Like Kendall said, he said there's been survey crews on the freeway all week. But I know a lot of that too is because they're trying to fix stuff up for the Olympics.
That's going to be an interesting situation.
What, the Olympics?
Is that
Oh,
what, 2018? I mean, 2018, 2028?
yeah, man. Oh, keel on your ass, Nate. She said if Nathaniel don't cut it out, this man is building a ballroom talking about funding unaccounted for.
Yeah, 300. Oh, and that's what it said. Now that the cost of that ballroom could exceed 500 million. I mean, yeah, 500
Yeah.
million or whatnot.
Yeah, because
That
it was already up to 230 million. So something interesting. Uh they said the ballroom that he's building is very similar to the ballroom that Hitler built to double as his bunker.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
'Cause that's why people like Lockheed Martin are involved. You know, the war people are involved in building the ballroom. And what
This,
that also tells me,
this motherfucker tried to start nuclear war.
or why would you build a bunker if you plan on leaving? Why would you build a $500 million bunker if you actually plan on leaving the White House anytime soon? Just food for thought, my people. Food for thought. And I'm not making this up. You can look this up. Nathaniel said Newsom proposed to shorten the one in California because he didn't have enough money. Okay. I like I said, I don't know, so I can't argue. But if you send me, I'll look it up even after the show myself. But I have though these are things that I haven't heard. 40 million to Argentina and shit. Exactly. You sent 40 million to Argentina like it ain't nothing. He is not building it with taxpayers' money. I never said he was. I just don't think it's a good idea. Like we're in the middle of a shutdown and he's spending 500 million and people can't get SNAP benefits. Like, yeah, Keela is damn near identical. I think it's bogus for insurance companies to pull coverage for the people who've been paying insurance forever or even move out of California because they've been made to pay out to the people who've paid for coverage who now needs it. What I want to know is, are they doing the same thing for other insurers in other states that have high hurricane presence or in the red states? Well, I'm sure they are, honestly, Steph, because a lot of insurance people are scammers.
Hmm.
The
Yeah,
White House already has a bunker. They do, Willie, but I think, like I said, he's building a new one. He's building like the one he's building is specifically very similar to the one that Hitler built because you know he's very fond of Hitler. He's and I'm not just making this up. It's been reported by people who worked in his last administration that he's very fond of Hitler and he likes to pattern a lot of things he does after Hitler. I'm not calling him Hitler because I know Republicans like this. Oh, you need to tone down the rhetoric. I'm not calling him Hitler. I'm saying I know he is very fond of Hitler and the way Hitler handles business. Nate needs to cite his sources. That's what I'm saying, Terrell. I'm just asking, like, Nate, just send me your sources, bro. Like, send me what I want. If you can educate me, please educate me. As well as the insurance commissioners. Yeah, Earlene, like I said, people pay so much money into insurance, home insurance, for them to pull out and say we can't insure, like, because you have to pay one city out is trash. Because y'all make a ton of money. Dodgers losing 6-1. They pissing me off, man. You cite yours. Okay. What do you want me to? What sources do you want me to cite for? Because I'll give them to you. If there's anything I said that you want me to cite, cite my resources for it, let me know, and I'll cite them for you. I don't mind. A book given to him by a friend was my new order, a collection of Hitler's speeches. In a 1990 Vanity Fair article, Ivana Trump told her lawyer that Donald Trump kept a copy of this book in a cabinet. I have to run. It's been fun.
Wait a minute. That motherfucker Trump reads?
Pissing me off too. By his bed, occasionally ready. Yeah. All right, bet. Email it to me. And like I said, if there's something you want to know from me too, I'll send you my sources. I don't mind. I haven't made any claims, right? So yeah, like for me, like I said, and I like to use now. I don't really do the CNN news sources or even the Fox News sources. I try to do independent sources, like either like the DOJ, the FBI for numbers, or
BBC.
independent analysts, BBC, and what's the other one? It's close to the BBC. It's a
My friend.
great news. It's a great news station that is worldwide. It's almost big as the BBC. It's on the tip of my tongue. Alma Pour. Alma Pour is on that. What is it? Al Jazeera. Is it Al Jazeera? I think it's Al Jazeera because I've learned when I've traveled abroad. Yeah, thank you. I was right. Yes, Al Jazeera. I've learned when I traveled abroad, their news is totally different from ours because
Yep.
they're not playing that one side, two side shit. So when I was like in Italy, I was seeing news stories of shit that was happening in the States that never made it to the States. Like I was calling home, like y'all know about it. They're like, they not reporting that shit at all here. So since then, like that was like I was in Italy, I want to say around 2005. Since then, I looked to BBC, Al Jazeera, and like I said, the sites like the DOJ, FBI, and the places where they get the numbers from for the news. That's where I'll say it for you. Hitler died in 1945 and Trump was born reincarnated Hitler the following summer. To me, all insurance is a scam because they try to get out of paying when you heck yeah, Willie, when you need it specifically medical and car. I need something back at the end of the year if I don't use my insurance. I'm just saying, hey, that I think we could do a whole damn show on insurance and how much we have to pay. Because like you said, we got to pay car insurance, we got to pay property insurance, we got to pay medical insurance. Vision is separate, dental is separate. It's not even all falling under just your regular medical insurance anymore. So yeah, I could literally do a whole show on that. So like we've been talking about it a little bit, y'all. So Snap has been stopped. It's looking like since the shutdown there won't be no snap for the at least the top of November. And people are going to be hurting, man. People are going to be hurting. We are early and we are very sensitive. Like I said, when I was watching BBC News and Al Jazeera when I was in Italy and when I was in London, I was like, yo, because they basically do world news with no editorial. They do world news without no, I like this side or I like that side. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I start using them for my sources for news stuff, because everybody else will try to muck up the waters with their own feelings, actually, like entering their own feelings into the news stories. But yeah, so y'all be careful because if Snap don't go out, people gonna be hungry. Like, and I mean like for real hungry. People gonna be for real hungry, and it's gonna create some wolves out here. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna create some wolves. So y'all be careful when the Snap don't go. Y'all be careful, and we hope that they open that shit up fast and restore Snap. And for everybody who thinks Snap is just for people who sitting at home lazy, that's not true. Snap
Mhm.
is for elderly. Like I think, if I'm not mistaken, 40% of people on Snap are elderly, 20% are kids and disabled,
Right.
and then the other 60% or the other 40% are people who have full time jobs. Did y'all know
Yep.
40% of people on Snap have full time jobs?
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
And
40%
already.
of people who have Snap on foot, because that's because like a lot of these jobs just don't pay enough to make it. So that
Mhm.
means you can have a job and still qualify for Snap because you don't make enough. You know what I'm saying? The grocery store is going to take a hit too. I agree, Laura.
Yep.
No offense to my palm color people, but them palm people are pissed behind Snap. Yeah, because as much as they try to make Snap a black thing, there are more Caucasian and others on Snap than black folks
In those red
by a
states.
long shot. By a long shot. Like when resources are scarce, societies collapse. Exactly. And honestly, Keela, I think this is part of his plan. Like all of this shit to me is part of his plan because it's like he's trying to force people to act crazy so he can say, "See, this is why I need the National Guard." Like he keeps doing stuff because he tried it with ICE, and he probably thought people was gonna act crazy in the streets with ICE. It didn't work. And now with like so you cutting people food off, snatching people off the streets. You're literally trying to force the people into a state of emergency where they're gonna start like shooting at ICE agents or going crazy on the streets, so you can force martial law. That's just my personal opinion. That's what I think
No,
it is.
I agree with you 100%, Dave.
I don't have much, but I'm offering to share some of my mom's meals, food delivery to anyone who is in need. That's so sweet of you, Stephanie. My delivery ends December 8th. I'm sharing until I can't share anymore. Uh, yeah, I think I really think that's what's going on, kid. Cause I'm like, it's like too much like pushing and poking. Like it's like it feel like a social experiment to me. Like yo, let's
Hmm.
see what we can do. Let's see how crazy we can make them go. Let's see how that didn't work. Let's not feed them. You know what I'm saying? Like let's see what happens if we don't feed them. Let's raise the prices on everything. Let's
Yeah.
raise the prices on gas. Let's see, like let's push them to the brink where people literally, and you talking about the good people, like we literally can't make it. You know what I'm saying? You talking about the people who live in check to check, who like, oh, we just not gonna make it. I mean, Shamika, I feel like it might be coming soon.
It's like it's modern
Agitator,
day
so he can
army.
militarize our communities. Exactly, Earlene. That's what it feels like. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I saw where black people aren't able to receive food stamp weren't able to receive food stamps until 1973, 74. I would not be surprised. We're like lab rats. Yeah, you know what I feel like, Keela? You know how they always talk about that experiment where they put the frogs in the water and they just slowly turn up the
Up
heat?
the temperature. Yep.
Yeah, slowly turn up the heat. I feel like that's what's happening right now. Like we're in the water and they slowly turning up the heat, slowly turning up the heat to a boil.
Hmm.
And I think that's when shit gonna get crazy. So I'm telling everybody, please be careful out here because don't nothing make crime spike more than hunger. You know what I'm saying? Don't nothing make crime spike more than people literally not being able to eat. Trump keeps elevating his moves. He'll try one thing to create outrage. When it doesn't work, he moves to the next move that's bigger than the last. He really is doing everything he can to get his martial law in place. The grocery stores have already started to take a hit. It started when the announcement was made that the government was getting ready to go into that shutdown.
Hmm.
Thanks, Keela. Yeah, that's what I've been thinking about, Keela. Like that's what I really feel like what's going on is like he's like trying to raise the temperature of everything, literally, like with his rhetoric, with the moves that he's making, with the way he's trying to, like he even said he wants to like um use American cities for training grounds
Yeah.
for the National Guard and for the Army. That's crazy. This nigga is bombing boats in the Caribbean. And so, yeah, without even going through Congress. Like when I say he's just like he's testing every boundary, not only of just the people, but even of our institutions.
Well, the
Because he
reason.
like I say he's the living embodiment of who gonna check me, boo.
Well, I think the reason why he's doing all that stuff is that he's slowly inching closer to Guyana to try and get that oil.
Yeah,
That's my personal opinion.
yeah, man. So I don't know, man.
It's like I said, it's like every single day or every week. It's like, oh, he can't top it. It'll be
And then he
something.
like, oh, I can't hold my beer, hold my spray tan can, nigga. He's staging a coup in Venezuela. Yeah, that whole thing that he's doing, that ain't about no drugs. That ain't about the war on drugs, him blowing them boats up. He has been wanting a replacement for their administration since he was in the first time. So this is about a regime change. You are 100% correct, Keela. This is about a regime change, and he's trying to use this as his first salvo for that regime change. What do you think it would take for his people to step into the light? And I don't think at this point, Shamika, I think they're a cult. They lost in the sauce because no matter what he say, he can literally lie to their face,
And
say
they'll
it's
believe him.
raining, look them in their face and piss on their feet, and they say, "Okay, thank you for the rain." I promise you, that's what I feel because I talked to so many Trump supporters where I'm like, it's like they live in a bubble. It's like they live in a bubble, and there's like nothing that can pull them out of it. Like I said, when you got poor people fighting for billionaires, you know we're in a very crazy place. We're in
Hmm.
a very crazy state when people like when poor people are mad that billionaires are getting taxed. I cannot fathom how that makes sense to anybody.
Doesn't.
Derek Terrell said dictators playbook. Yeah, yeah. And I know people like, oh, they thought people were being alarmist when they were saying that, but they not. She said them saltines are gone. No coming back. No, it ain't. Like when I say I've watched them, and because they really feel like he speaks for them, and he's for the pure blood of white America. Period. Like that's the bottom line. White pastors are praising him. Yeah, and it's funny because when you see the white pastors praise, I'm like, so y'all don't really have a sense of humanity as pastors, because as
Hmm.
pastors, some of the things that he's doing, just out of a sense of human
Oh,
rights and being human, y'all rock with that stuff. So
but damn, you want to know something? It'll be very interesting how those white pastors or pastors in general feel when the tides are low, when people are not putting in that money for that tide for their tides.
oh yeah, 'cause like I said, all that's about to be affected, bro. Like all that's about to be affected. So I don't know, man. It's deep. It's deep. It's deep what we going through, and because black people, we always said we have lived through Democrat and Republican presidents, and it never has really affected us on
Hmm.
a day to day. It black people figure it out no matter what. I think this is the first time that the presidency is really going to affect people, like with Snap and like with Ice. They think he's a reincarnation of Christ. Yo, for real. Stephanie said he's doing it because he knows that he has the majority under his thumb in Congress and the House. What's worse is that he has another year or so worth of damage to do before midterms come for us to get these assholes out. Well, the crazy thing is, Stephanie, he's not even using Congress and the House. He's literally just doing shit. Like I'm not even going through the proper channels. They said he's just now trying to go to Congress to get a what is it called? To get a resolution to blow the boats up legally. Project 2025 spelled it out in black and white. Shame no one believed Kamala. Shamika, seriously. I remember certain black folks we know who like he said he don't know nothing about Project 2025. I was like,
Yeah, he had the main author working in the administration.
Shannon, did you see the officer was convicted for murdering Sonia Massey? Yes, I did. And thank God for that. A little bit of justice in this crazy sick world. Uh Do y'all think dementia is starting to show along with a progression of deteriorating health is going to be a factor? Oh, for sure, 100%. Reaganomics affected us in the days. You know what? You're right. You're right, Shannon. Reaganomics did affect black folks, but I don't think Reaganomics affected us even like this close. But even because, like I said, even through Reaganomics, black folks was okay.
Hmm.
Even through Reaganomics, black folks, we'll figure it out. I think this is the first time where it's gonna be like, I don't know what we gonna do. It ain't just black folks, it's literally for everybody. Kendall said, basically he's been a president through executive orders. He may not be going through them to do what he's doing, but they are not trying to stop his ass either. I agree, Steph. If we can get all of them out of office and put new people in, somebody will go ahead and arrest his ass for treason and all kind of other stuff where he belongs. Vance is waiting for this fool to become extinct. I think so too, because he's been like lightweight hopscotching, like he been in and out, like I'm with the president, but now I'm kind of not. You know what I'm saying? Have y'all peeped that? Have y'all peeped that JD Vance been kind of like, I'm biding my time. Like I kind of fuck with some of the stuff he do, so I'll back him on that, but I don't really fuck with that. So I'm gonna say some little slick shit over here that I'll make sure get out to the press. Y'all pay attention to that too. Like you said earlier, Mars, I think we're gonna see that relationship come to a head before the end of the presidency, especially if Trump keeps talking about he's gonna run in 2028. That because what you're doing is you're literally undermining JD Vance. You're literally undermining any chance he has to run. So pay attention to that. You know what I'm saying? Midterms 2026. Yeah, the midterms are coming, Shamik, and I hope Democrats get their shit together and get their messaging together before then, because they should win the midterms in a landslide. But if they don't get off that bullshit, they still have a chance to lose. So they better work on their messaging and say the things like we said earlier. I don't know if you were on when we talking about the mayor, because I ain't finna tear his name up. The mayor, the guy running for mayor in New York, he's talking specifically to the people and to the things that people need and the thing that people want. And that's why Democratic Socialist is going to win. Wait, a Muslim Democratic Socialist is going to win in New York. So peep that. The problem with Democrats is they have too much inner fighting against the left. They do. That's because, like I said, Keela, they're a big tent, and sometimes they take the focus of the tent and focus it on the wrong places. I don't know if you remember, Keela, when me and you were talking during the election, when I said they not spending enough money on outreach to black folks. They're not spending enough money on outreach to Latino folks, and they were spending all that money on the Republicans trying to do the bus tours and shit with Dick Cheney daughter. Like, we don't give a shit about Dick Cheney daughter. Y'all keep trotting her out. Like, look, we even got Dick Cheney daughter with us. Like, who gives a fuck about that? But they would spend a lot of money. They would spend so much money trying to get those moderates and those Republicans that they were never going to get. Like, they were trying so hard to get those never Trumpers and those super moderates. Like, they still ain't going to vote for a black woman. And you getting Dick Cheney daughter don't impress the Democrats. It don't impress the people on the Democratic side. Like, it don't impress, it for sure don't impress progressives. So if you're trying to win progressives over, trotting out a bunch of Republicans saying, hey, look, even these Republicans voting for us, that ain't gonna help. Vance be looking like them. I was pressing when we moved out here with them. Willie said, yeah, Gavin stopped giving bread to Prop 50, and a lot of Dems have won. Oh, says stop giving bread to Prop 50, and a lot of Dems have won in small government positions in red states lately. Yeah, they have. And make sure y'all go out and vote for Prop 50, because Texas is trying to rig the election by taking we're gonna make up 5 seats. So what Gavin Newsom did do that I appreciate, he said, all right, y'all gonna add 5 seats, we gonna add 5 seats. Like, we gonna keep this even. New York was supposed to do it too, but I think they chicken out. I remember that they needed to be trying to win the apathetic voter. Yes, they can get people off the couch. Cheney's daughter married black. Hell no. Cheney's daughter is like what you call a staunch Republican through and through, bro. That's why I say it wasn't, to me, I was like, this ain't the flex y'all think it is. Trotting Dick Cheney daughter out and all these ex-Republicans. That's not the flex y'all think it is, especially if you're trying to get people off the couch and you're trying to get progressive voters. Because the thing is, the biggest thing that the Kamala lost was because she just didn't bring out the amount of voters that Biden bought out. Like, so she didn't really lose to like Trump campaign. She lost to like people who just didn't get off the couch. She didn't get people to vote. When she started doing that, that's when her numbers started going out. That's what I said, Keela. I don't think he was on yet. I said when she started trotting out them Republicans, and when she wouldn't break away from Biden enough to look like she was the different choice. When she was sticking to Biden policy so much because they didn't want her throwing Biden under the bus, because she wouldn't break away from him on the economy, which she should have. She wouldn't break away from him on Gaza and Palestine, which she should have. She wouldn't break away from him on the LGBTQ shit, which she should have. She wouldn't break away with him on fracking in the oil, even though they were already at a very high point of drilling for fracking and oil, they were scared to say it. It's like the Democrats be scared to say that shit with their chest. So that's to me when she started losing, because she was kicking ass when it looked like she was her thing, but then when it looked like she was gonna be Biden light, diet Biden zero. Oh, what up, nephew? Hey, y'all, I'm sorry, my nephew, my little handsome nephew came in. I gotta see my little handsome nephew. I gotta put him on camera for y'all. This is the mom baby boy. This is the mom baby boy. Look at this big boy. He just turned one last week, y'all. What up, nephew? This is the funniest kid ever, man. This kid be cracking me up, man. This dude is hilarious, man. This is my nephew Zaire, ladies and gentlemen. Introduce you to the world. You good? You cool with me today? I gotta see if he cool, because some days he cool with me. Some days, he just woke up. Okay, so it ain't me. He just woke up. Yeah, he looking at the dog now. But yeah, this is my nephew Zaire. Say hi, Zaire. Say hi to everybody. It's my guy right there. All right. Yeah, they gerrymandering their ass off in Texas. Yeah, because you in Texas, huh, Shamika? Yeah, they literally just was like, oh, nigga, we finna, because they trying to remove Jasmine Crockett's entire seat. And I think the way they doing it, she might have to run for something else. Correct me if I'm wrong, Shamika. When she runs again, she might have to run another district or something because of the way they gerrymandered. Stephanie said, have you heard anything about the radical Muslims trying to take over Western ideology by implementing themselves in all these different countries and implementing some type of law where they want to force everyone to practice Islam religion and will arrest or unalive anyone that does not practice, basically trying to make the main majority religion everywhere? I have not heard that, Stephanie, especially in America.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was my nephew. Hey, Jazz be in their ass too. Then they trying to get rid of her. Punk ass Stephen A. Smith talking about he don't like the way she talked. He pissed me off. When Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi get in the Kamala campaign, it was down. Hey, Willie, preach. And that's what we talked about too, right, Willie? Those establishment Democrats. Once those establishment Democrats got involved, talking about you need to go on CNN. Because remember, she wasn't doing CNN and none of that legacy media bullshit. She was on the Breakfast Club. She was on Call Her Daddy. She was doing all the different, podcasts that would. And then when Chuck Schumer and the establishment, the DNC got in, and she had to get her money from the DNC, they were like, "Oh no, you need to go do CNN. You need to go do MSNBC," and they start putting her in those legacy media interviews, making her look stuffy again and again, not letting her break away from Biden. And that's when her shit went downhill, like immediately. Because I watched it. As soon as I watched it, I said, "Oh, this is about to kill her campaign." Like, because while she's on CNN, this nigga Trump is on with Theo Vaughn.
Yeah. Sure.
She said, yes, San Antonio, correct. They redrew her district, so now she can't run because she don't live in the area. That's insane. And you know what? And that's why I say when I'm talking about playing by the rules, listen, I keep saying this and I will keep saying it till y'all understand. I feel like the Democrats are in the ring with boxing gloves on, and the Republicans are like, oh no, we doing UFC. So they're just kicking the shit out of the Democrats in the head. And Dems like, no, we're boxing. We're boxing. It's like, nigga, they not playing by the same rules as y'all no more. They are no longer boxing. It's UFC. Y'all better get in with UFC. And trying to win over Republicans with a Biden agenda. Exactly, Willie. Like, y'all not gonna win over the Republicans with Biden agenda. They don't like him. They don't like what he was doing. So go after those voters that you should have went after. Those apathetic voters, like Keela said, you should have went after those voters instead of trying to go after those moderates and those moderate Republicans. That's why the Texas Democrats left in protest, but that didn't last long. Yeah, I saw they was actually trying to arrest him. Also, when Kamala was on culture shows, she was relaxed. On the other shows, she was too politician-y. 100%. 100%. And like I said, when I would see her on Breakfast Club, when I saw her on, I was like, that's the Kamala we need. Or even this Kamala, honestly, the one we need is Kamala that's out right now, touring with her book, saying these motherfuckers is crazy. I would have appreciated that. Because I'm like, I said the first time when she tried to run, when she lost in the primary, they was trying to make her Obama Jr. Remember? The very, very first time she was making it, and that shit didn't work because like it didn't connect. That's when she seemed fake to people when they was trying to make her Obama Jr. because that's not her. This time when she was connecting to people, it was working, and the DNC came in with that bullshit saying like you can't break away from Biden, and then she lost that swag, man. Let me see. These Republicans were never boxing or playing by the rules, and you think that the Democrats would have learned that by now. Well, I mean, I think at least it used to be closer, Stephanie. You know what I'm saying? It used to be a time where a lot of stuff was literally policy based, and it's like, okay, we could deal with that for 4 years, and then when the Democrat gets in, they'll reverse it. You know what I mean? Like stuff you get, but the stuff we dealing with now, it's not the same. Like let's not. I don't want us to pretend that it's nearly on the same level that it's ever been what we're dealing with now. Word is she might run again. Yeah, I think she did 2 interviews where they asked her if she was going to run, and she basically said it's not out of the question. Which I mean, I feel like she's testing the waters. I think if she could run a good primary and she could run a good, now she's gonna be able to break away from Biden because she wrote the book saying basically like I wasn't fucking with that shit, but this is what the establishment told me I had to do. So I think that could help her case. People saying, "Oh, you flip flopping," she gonna be like, "No, I was trying to be a team player," but I think she actually could win, but there's some key things she has to do. If she wants to win, she has to go after the Latino vote. She has to go after the black male vote earlier. She has to go after those votes earlier. She has to stop trying to look like a moderate Democrat and look more progressive. And she has to break away and say that, you know, she has to break away from the establishment Democrats. The establishment Democrats are Zionists when it comes to Israel as well. So she got to break away from them and start talking about Gaza and Palestine needs to be free. You know what I'm saying? There needs to be a 2-state solution, and she needs to do like those are the things I feel like if she would have did, she would have had a better chance, because when she wouldn't break away from him on Palestine, she lost almost all of those Muslim votes, which means she lost Michigan. You know what I mean? Like there were key strategic things that she did that she lost on. That if she wants to win, I mean, hopefully she learned from her mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she learned from her mistakes and she'll know how to run her race this time. But yeah, man.
What the fuck?
Oh, before we get out of here, let's talk about NBA gambling issues, man. What the hell is going on, Mark?
Wait a minute. Trump said that he has ordered the Pentagon to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis with Russia and China.
I told you this dude want war.
This is from the Wall Street Journal. Holy shit.
So let's talk about these gambling. Like first of all, the way they did it was cold blooded because they rolled it out when they got arrested like they was actually betting on NBA games. I didn't like that. Like they tried to make it look like they got arrested because they was betting on NBA games, which was trash. Because that's not what they got arrested for. They got arrested for a legal poker game, and I feel like they're the fall guy for some bigger shit.
Oh, I agree. Because the NBA was like, we already got we got our betting things going on. So why are you doing X, Y, and Z?
Yeah, because the NBA didn't do it like a lot of sports betting. They do you know, all those new sports betting companies, they literally get to advertise with the NBA. So it's not like the NBA is against betting. But I heard that this particular game that they got arrested for was an illegal mafia game.
See, I heard that as well, but I've also been hearing there's a lot more folks, bigger fish, that are involved. And the reason
Damon
why
Jones gonna get it though, because Damon Jones was betting. He was giving betting lines, basically talking to LeBron or finding out from LeBron's camp if LeBron was playing or not, if he was hurt. Now that's gonna ding the hell out of him. I think Chauncey Billups might be able to come out of this cool if he like basically I was just at the game. But they talking about, man, they had some high tech Ocean's 11 shit where you could see the other players' cards under the table. I need to see how they was doing this.
For real, help us in a spades game.
I need to see how they was doing this, man, because like that was crazy.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's like I don't think this is something that's gonna go away because again, distraction. It's gonna be ugly.
Shamika said, Billups need to tell us where the money at. For real. Oh, I was like, damn, they got Chauncey? Damn. She said, I know, but they said it was like an X-ray table, cousin. It wasn't just like camera. Like they said, it was like an X-ray table. It was all these like elaborate things and way. It wasn't like one way of cheating. It was like all these elaborate ways of cheating. So I'm interested to see. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. X-ray glasses, I'm sure.
You think so?
Hell yeah.
The meta glasses, like they have some special meta glasses.
Mm-hmm.
That's deep, man. That's crazy.
All to get a book.
Huh?
All to get a book.
Bro. Like, that's wild, man. Oh, I know you getting sleepy, Robert. Robert's turned to a pumpkin, y'all. But but before we get out of here, I want to oh, hold on. It's from Kendall, my guy Kendall. Is there any thoughts that executive branch wants to poke the American racism against blacks? Whoever sides with the community in Palestine needs to stand firm. Oh, that's already happening, bro. They sicking ice on black folks now.
Oh, they are?
Hell yeah, they was just grabbing regular black folks in Chicago.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Shamika said, teachers, Chauncey. All right, where is this at? What I'm looking for? Let's see. I'm with you, Shamika. Are you playing a song from your latest album? Not tonight. We're gonna do it next time we on. Rich Palm people just lost their money. Rich, yeah, hey, they lost a lot of bread, man. Oh, let's see something. Okay, there it is. My tabs are being weird while I'm trying to share the screen. There we go. So everybody, December 7th, y'all come check us out. We done Bad Boy Records label nights. We done Death Row Records label nights. We done MCA Records label nights. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the one that's coming up next. Come check us out.
Thanks, fam. Wild Bunny Label Nights returns to the Miracle Theater Sunday, December 7th. This time featuring the catalog of Miracle and Faith Records. You are the Face Miracle Theater, December 7th. Pull up, pull up, pull up.
So that's what we got going on, man. Y'all got to come check us out. I promise you it's going to be a good time because the LaFace catalog is crazy.
Yeah,
I had such a hard time trying to put together the LaFace show, trying to put together which songs we're going to do, which artists, without feeling like we're going to miss some of the biggest hits. We're going to miss some because, first of all, we could just do the songs Babyface wrote alone.
Mm-hmm.
Send me the Addy, Shamika. I got you. I'm on the way.
Yeah, Dave, you need to start taping that shit so that I can at least attend via Zoom or something like that.
Hey man, we filmed the last one, and the dude who filmed it ran off with our tapes. But I'm gonna have my boy Brian film it this time, so make sure we good. You know, you try to pay black folks, man. This was a damn good show tonight. I'm proud and grateful for all the engagement. Me too, Steph. Hey, thank y'all for everybody in the comments. Y'all had a cracking tonight. Our regulars, we had some newbies, but hey, it was a good spirited night, and I love the comments and I love talking to y'all, man. Trump directs Pentagon to match Russia and China nuclear weapons testing. Yeah, that's what Rob just read off. Let's talk about that before we go real quick. Thank you, Earlene. The No Limit verse Cash Money versus.
I heard that shit was trash.
Let me tell you.
Was it? Tell me how bad it was.
To me, it was No Limit versus Juvie. They jumped Juvie, dog. Because Juvie was really the only one holding it down with his joints. You know what I'm saying? Like it was. I promise, it felt like it was No Limit versus Juvie. See, she said No Limit won, but it was trash. Yeah, it was trash. Because first of all, No Limit or Cash Money ain't known as like good performers. You know what I'm saying? So when you do a versus like that on a stage that big, you need to have like some good performers. Mia X and Juvenile were the best performers on the stage.
Hmm.
So what did that tell you?
So let me ask you this question: the fact that it was No Limit versus Juvie, do you think that versus is now on its last leg?
I don't think it's on his last day because a lot of people watched.
Mm.
That's another thing. She said it should have been in New Orleans. It definitely should have been in New Orleans. She said I danced the chopper style. I said, hey, chopper style was going up. You know what I liked about Shamika though too? There were songs I forgot about that they were playing. I'm like, oh damn, I forgot about that record. I forgot about that record because Project Chick went up. When Juvie did Project Chick, that joint went up. Of course, you know, Back That Ass Up went up, but then there was even some No Limit songs. I was like, oh, I forgot about that record. Like there were a lot of big records played that night. But again, like I said, it's just not the same when you like not a great performer.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When you're not a great performer, it's hard to watch 20 songs of. And like I said, they jumped Juvie though, because Juvenile was the one holding it down on the Cash Money side. Because
Was Wayne there?
Wayne didn't show up. No Wayne, no Drake, no Nicki, because they had the bigger stars, but then their bigger stars showed up, and that's the other thing. Everybody showed up for No Limit. Snoop showed up for No Limit.
Hmm.
Randomly, Kelly Price was there for No Limit.
Hmm.
And all the No Limit artists that you could remember basically were there. Have they not burned bridges with Lil Wayne? Cash Money could have taken it. Yes, New Orleans, the crowd was bunk. Yeah, you could tell a lot of like, why would you do a No Limit Cash Money in Vegas?
Hmm.
Like, definitely, Arlene. We did a whole show on him last time, but rest in peace to D'Angelo for sure. We ain't forget. We did a whole show about Low.
Yeah, like all the women went back and watched all his first
No,
video,
see,
Brown
murder. Don't
Sugar.
think I could. Hey, Silk the Shocker had 30 years to catch this beat. This hoe still ain't caught it.
Yo, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready.
Nigga, you don't have 30 years to catch this beat. Oh, yeah, Mystical. I think Mystical in jail, ain't he, Shannon?
Yeah, he in jail.
Yeah, Mystical in jail. That's why he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Is Masterpiece still running in place? Hey, that's all he was doing all night. Silk ain't trying to hear that shit. You right. He ain't trying to hear the beat. He ain't trying to hear the. I said, first of all, you already offbeat on a record. Then you gonna sing on top of the record and be even more offbeat than your original offbeat shit on the record. It was kind of amazing. Yeah. But yeah, y'all come out December 7th. Yes, Mystico's back in jail. He ain't quit yet. Can't stop, won't stop. He's on that Diddy demon time.
You got that baby oil.
Huh?
You got that baby oil.
Yeah. But yeah, December 7th, come out to the Miracle Theater in Inglewood, y'all. It's gonna be a good time. I'm telling you. I just put the set list together. Still making a few tweaks, but the set list is crazy. It's gonna be fun because when you really think about it, when you think about LaFace, you got TLC, you got Babyface, you got The Deal, you got Outkast, you got Usher, you got John B, you got Sierra. Like it's a whole bunch.
Got Goody
So
Mob, Organized Noise.
Goody Mob, Organized Noise, Tony Braxton. It's a lot. So I've been really just shuffling, trying to figure out what records we're gonna do to make it high energy, make it fun. I think y'all gonna dig it. All Silk had going for him was his looks. I always thought since the beginning that he was trash. Nah, nah, nah. On that note, yo, we gonna get out of here before Rob turns into a pumpkin. Hey, we appreciate everybody who was in the comments, man. We appreciate everybody who's watching on Instagram. I heard we can get on TikTok. I'm gonna figure out how to do it before the next show so we can get on TikTok as well. Thank y'all for everybody in the comments, man. This was a great show, great engagement. It was fun. We'll see y'all next time. Rob, like we said, we're gonna starting at 6:30 so we can make sure we get Rob some time because now he gets to get off and it's only 8:30 and ain't like 10:30. It's a big difference, huh, Rob?
It's a big difference.
It's a big difference. All right, we'll see y'all later.
Yeah.
Shout Shout, shout, let it all out. Things gonna feel Come on, I'm talking to you. Come on. And when you're taken down to God, if I could change your mind, I'd really like to break your heart.